She was standing right in the middle of the road I just finished paving. Hands on hips, sunglasses on, like she owned the world. "Excuse me, sir," she barked. "You can't build this road here. This belongs to the HOA." I put down my shovel and wiped the sweat from my face. "Ma'am, this road leads to my family's farm. Been ours for 60 years. She scoffed. "Not anymore. The HOA expanded. This is community property now." I almost laughed. "Community property? My granddad built that gate before you were even born." She pulled out her phone. "You're going to regret that tone. I'm calling the cops." And she did, right there, standing on my gravel, pretending to be some kind of neighborhood queen. 10 minutes later, a sheriff's SUV pulled up. I recognized the man who stepped out. "Well, I'll be damned," he grinned. "Tommy? Haven't seen you since the service." Karen froze. "Service? What service?" "Marine Corps," the sheriff said, glancing at me. "We did 3 tours together. What's going on here?" Karen pointed at me like a kid tattling. "He's illegally paving over HOA land. Arrest him." The sheriff frowned. "HOA land?" He checked his tablet. "Ma'am, this isn't HOA jurisdiction. This entire strip's registered under the Miller family." Her voice cracked. "That's impossible. We voted." "You voted on something you don't own?" I said, trying not to smile. The sheriff sighed. "Ma'am, you're actually trespassing right now." She gasped. "Trespassing? On my road?" He turned to her, voice firm. "No, ma'am, on his." And before she could argue again, 2 more deputies pulled up behind her car, flashing lights reflecting off. Karen's fake confidence melted fast as the deputies stepped closer. "You're making a mistake," she stammered. "I represent this community. He's building without permits." The sheriff crossed his arms. "Permits? This is county land, ma'am, not your HOA playground." I could see her eyes darting, searching for backup, for anyone to side with her. But all she had were her own lies. I stayed quiet, just watching. Then she pointed at the security pole near my gate. "That camera's illegal too! He's spying on residents!" I couldn't help it. I laughed. "That camera's linked to the sheriff's department. You want to tell him it's illegal?" The sheriff raised an eyebrow. "You accusing county surveillance now?" Karen swallowed hard, but her pride wouldn't let her stop. "We'll take this to court," she said, voice shaking. "You'll lose everything, Mr. Miller." That's when my neighbor, old Mr. Carter, walked up from his truck. He'd lived here even longer than my family. "Lose everything?" he said, voice rough. "Lady, that man fixed this whole road himself. You should be thanking him. My ambulance couldn't even reach my wife last month 'cause of those potholes." Karen turned bright red. "That's not the point." Carter took a slow step closer. "It is to me." The deputies exchanged looks. They could see what was happening. She wasn't protecting the community. She was protecting her ego. The sheriff finally spoke, calm but cold. "Ma'am, this is a lawful property. The Millers owned it outright. You've trespassed, interfered with construction, and made a false police report." Her jaw dropped. "False report? I called for help." "Yeah, and you lied doing it." He reached for his radio. "Dispatch, confirm. HOA president in custody for trespassing and filing a false report." The words hung in the air like thunder. Her sunglasses slipped off her face. You can't cuff me," she shouted as one deputy gently took her wrist. I didn't say a word, just kept watching, leaning against the same shovel she'd mocked me for holding. As they led her toward the patrol car, she hissed, "You'll regret this, Miller. You'll regret ever touching that road." I whispered to myself, "Funny, that's what my dad said before he built it the first time." The sheriff glanced back at me. "Tommy, something tells me this ain't over. She's the kind who comes back swinging." I nodded. "Then I'll be ready." But I didn't know how right he was, because the next morning, I woke up to find something nailed to my gate that changed everything. A wooden board was nailed right across my gate, painted bright red, letters dripping like blood. Stop work immediately. HOA property. Under investigation. I stood there for a moment, coffee mug in hand, trying not to laugh. The road behind me was smooth, solid, perfect. My dad would have been proud. But that sign, that was pure Karen. I pulled it off, set it on the ground, and noticed something strange. There was a new camera on the opposite fence post. Small, black, freshly installed. She's spying on me now, I muttered. Just then, my phone buzzed. A notification from my security app. Motion detected last night, around 2:13 a.m. I tapped play. There she was, Karen herself, sneaking down the road with a flashlight, a hammer, and that same board. Another man followed her, the so-called vice president of the HOA. He whispered, "Karen, this is illegal." "Shut up," she hissed. "We have to make him stop before he gets the land rezoned." I paused the video. Rezoned? My heart started racing. That meant she knew something bigger. I called the sheriff right away. "Hey John, it's Tommy. You might want to see this footage." When he arrived, he didn't even wait for me to explain. "What'd she do now?" I showed him the clip. His eyes narrowed. "That's criminal trespass and tampering with private property. She's digging her own grave." We headed down the road to check for more damage. And sure enough, her group had sprayed "Private HOA Road" in white paint across the asphalt. John shook his head. "You know what this is, right? She's trying to force an easement claim, make it look like this road's shared access." I frowned. "She wants to steal my right of way." "Exactly," he said. "If this goes to county records, she could block you from ever expanding." That's when I remembered something. A metal lockbox my dad kept buried near the old fence post. He'd once told me, "If anyone ever questions this land, dig where the oak's shadow ends." I grabbed a shovel. Within minutes, I hit metal. I pulled out the box, rusty but intact. Inside was a map, an original deed, and a letter signed by the county commissioner dated 1978. I looked at John. "This prove enough?" He grinned. "This doesn't just prove it, it buries her case for good." But before he could say another word, a black SUV rolled up the hill, tinted windows, no plates. It stopped right in front of us. Karen stepped out again. But this time, she wasn't alone. 3 men in suits followed her, carrying folders and badges. She smiled coldly. "Good morning, Mr. Miller. Meet my lawyers." The morning air turned heavy. Karen stood behind her lawyers like a queen with her soldiers, chin up, smirk tight, voice full of fake authority. One of the men flipped open a folder. "Mr. Miller," he said in a smooth, practiced tone, "we're here to inform you that your recent construction violates community access laws. The HOA will be filing an injunction to stop your road work immediately." Before I could speak, Sheriff John stepped forward. "You might want to check your facts before throwing legal terms around. This land's been Miller property since before that HOA even existed." The lawyer smiled, like he'd rehearsed it. "That's yet to be proven." I held up the old deed, edges worn, but seal still visible. "This prove enough?" He took it, looked closer, and his face shifted. The county commissioner's signature was still there. John leaned in. "That's an original document. County record matches this serial number. You boys just lost your case." Karen's voice cracked. No, that can't be right. We had maps." John turned toward her. "Fake maps. You filed false claims, trespassed, vandalized, and now you're harassing a landowner with lawyers. You really don't know when to quit, do you?" The deputy, who'd been quiet till now, spoke up. "Sheriff, we got confirmation from the county office. HOA boundaries end a quarter-mile before Miller's Gate. She knew it." Karen spun around to her lawyers. "Do something! Don't just stand there!" But they stepped back. "Ma'am, we were misled. We're withdrawing representation."